I have 120 furious people waiting.
Okay.
But we're going live. We're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Club. The black screen is for Pallavi because she's here and yet not here. So that's, I think you all are used to that. That's her being there and not being there. But Joyita, thank you. Welcome back. Professor,
Thank you.
welcome back. Good to have you all here. And everybody, I can read the clock. I know what time it is. You don't need to keep informing me. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks, but no thanks. I was on time. Everyone else was late. Professor still seems to think that coming bang at 7 p.m. is okay for a show, which it is not, Professor. You have to come. If you were called on a big TV channel, would you come like bang on time? Please.
They would tell me
You'd
when
be
to come.
10 minutes before.
I came 1 minute before, certainly.
So
Yeah,
did I.
Joyita was 1 minute before time. I was sitting here from 6:40 p.m. So anyway, let's start. After cracking the whip, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Talking about cracking whips. Okay. Wow. What? Thank you, Ajayji. Thank you for joining at 7:03 p.m.
Sorry, I got late. My apologies.
Yes. We're very prompt here. Myself and the viewers. Can't say the same for the guests, but it's okay. Speaking of whippings or whoopings, as they say in the good old USA, what happened was, or what is alleged to have happened, let me reframe that, at the chief, no one other than the Chief Minister of Delhi's residence is entirely shocking and unprecedented. I don't think this sort of context of an assault is something that we've seen in a long time. Of course, there have been incidents like this in the past involving women in politics, famously Jayalalitha, Mayawati. We all know of these cases. But the fact that this happened is alleged to have happened in the Chief Minister of Delhi's residence makes it all the more alarming. Joyita, I'm going to start with you. I mean, observing women in politics, has there been a precedent like this where you see this kind of an assault or allegations of it?
Not that I remember, Advaita. What we have seen is, you see, any sort of accusation hurled at any politician, political parties generally act very fast because they do not want to send out an anti-woman message. And as a result of which, even most of the time, it is the women who are given the benefit of the doubt and investigations happen. It is very rarely when one of your party leaders comes out and says that, yes, this assault happened. It's not, if you remember Sanjay Singh now, and then you try and brush everything under the carpet, you try to cover it up. I think this is something for the first time that we are seeing. And, this is not just another party leader. We are looking at someone who is a Rajya Sabha member. Just imagine something like this coming up, this sort of a complaint coming from a member of parliament, and whether she should be AAP's parliament MP or not, that is not our concern. As far as we are concerned, she is a member of parliament. For a member of parliament to allege something like this, and then the party to turn around and say, first of all, nothing has happened, and then make all sorts of allegations, at least investigate, say something. Right now what they are doing, they're tying themselves up in knots and denying everything. And let's face it, if you go and talk to people who have been associated with the AAP for a very long time, including many women, they are saying a lot of things which, if that comes out, I don't think the AAP leadership will like that.
Ajoy, I want to come to you. very quickly is Sanjay Singh basically came out, held that press conference, said, "Look, this happened. This chap behaved badly. We're going to sort it out." And then you have Atishi Marlena coming on. Was it this morning or yesterday? And basically
Yesterday.
saying that yesterday, yeah, basically saying that, look, nothing like this happened. It's all lies, and it's not only lies, but alleging that Swati Maliwal has been paid off or commissioned by the BJP to do this. And thank God Kejriwal was not in the room, as per her, when this took place. I mean, it's a little absurd, right? Because Sanjay Singh is a very senior leader, and I want your views.
The whole episode smacks of multiple theories, conspiracy theories, as well as it's very abnormal for any political party which is trying to establish itself as not just the voice of the people of the country, but also as a political party which is against establishment, which is against all forms of corruption, which stands out for the rights of the women, and what way you have it. Fact of the matter is that something went down the drain which did not really agree well with Mr. and also thereafter. Let's look at the sequence of events. I'll just run it through briefly. Uh, Swati Maliwal goes away for a treatment for her sister cancer, as she proclaimed thereafter, is not on the scene for 2.5 months, close to that. Arvind Kejriwal goes to jail. She prefers to continue with her sister, be in US, does not come to India. Thereafter, she comes to India in April end. Arvind Kejriwal is in jail. His wife Sunita Kejriwal is campaigning, is also trying to make a pitch. Swati Maliwal desires to join the campaigning and the pitch, is not given any platform, so to say, both from her side and also from the Aam Aadmi Party's side. A clear displeasure has already been conveyed to her from Aam Aadmi Party that her absence has been noted, especially by somebody who has had very close association with Swati Maliwal. Now, with this backdrop, you go to cut to the morning, the fateful morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, and thereafter the sequence of events. Till about 9:20, everything seems to be sync. She enters, and thereafter there are two versions of the story. One which is now being put out by the Aam Aadmi Party, the other which has already been put out by Swati Maliwal on the day that she called the police. And she went to the police, did not register a complaint. 36 hours thereafter, Sanjay Singh comes out, tries to rouse the fire, says that, I'll put it in Hindi the way he said it, बहुत बड़ी अभद्रता हुई है. Now, abhadrata is absolute misdemeanor. And thereafter, for the next 20 hours, everybody keeps quiet. Nothing comes out. So it's more than 50 hours later that the police reaches Swati Maliwal. Swati Maliwal, in the meantime, does not go back to the police at all. She has already been to the police station, gets back in an auto from there. You know, the sequences are like really absurd as to what is happening. She calls from CM's residence, then she walks out, takes an auto to the police station. A Rajya Sabha MP going in a auto, slightly incongruous. Things don't match. There is something which is amiss here. Thereafter, everything's happened. So a lot has happened. What has happened really nobody knows, because ultimately the footage will show. And the police, by the way, the footage that the police was provided with is blank. So between 9:15 a.m. till about 10 a.m., there is blank footage provided to the police by the CM office. Two videos are released by the CM office, both trying to project an image that Bibhu was just trying to assist her or ask her to not overstep her authority and jurisdiction. No video from Swati Maliwal till now. Somebody who has been an activist, has been with Arvind Kejriwal, a party which only believes in recording videos and audio.
Stings, yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
there is a lot to this masala story. It's a typical Bollywood pot broiler which is happening with Aam Aadmi Party.
Yeah.
So if you look at it on a broader perspective, I think neither of the two are coming out with the correct version of it. But yes, the manner in which Aam Aadmi Party has handled the whole episode it completely smacks of lots of questions. First being, why did Aam Aadmi Party not come out in open? Why did they
You know,
not? Yes, please.
we'll get to those questions, but what you're saying, Ajay, and I want Pallavi to come in on this, and then finally I'll go to the professor as well. As you're saying, Sunita Kejriwal actually has a problem with Swati Maliwal, because that is the change that has happened in AAP. Prior to that, I mean, she was just sworn. She had that Delhi Women's Commission post, which was very powerful, very highly visible. She was, I guess, one of the stars of AAP. Was really had a lot of control. Then she gets sworn into the Rajya Sabha, which is very prestigious, and that means that she has the leadership's year. And in this case, in AAP, the leadership is one man, which is Arvind Kejriwal. So what happens in the intervening time is Kejriwal goes to jail. She goes to look after her ailing sister, which can be understood. But when she returns, and she does want to join in, she's not leaving the party or anything. She does want to campaign. She does want to be there. But Sunita Kejriwal puts her foot down. What's up with that? I one would think
And
she
I
would
also
be welcoming support. Yeah.
So I also, if you look at her tweets also, but her attack is not at all on Arvind Kejriwal. It's more on the party. So there are people. So it's very suggestive that there are people around Arvind Kejriwal who definitely want to keep her away, and that is where this entire conspiracy theory and I mean, not many things are said openly. But another power center, which I mean, up like many parties, has also got multiple power centers with Arvind Kejriwal out. So there was a Sanjay Singh who comes up with a comment, then Raghav Chaddha suddenly surfaces. I mean, there's such fast-paced developments which has taken place in the last 24 to 48 hours. I don't think anyone has missed the fact that Sunita Kejriwal has come out on her own while Arvind Kejriwal was behind jail. She's definitely no Rabri Devi. She definitely seemed much more confident. She herself has been a bureaucrat, so that confidence is there. As long as Kejriwal was around, she always took that back seat, which, like, I guess most wives do of her chief minister. She would not be seen speaking very publicly, but she's come out on her own. She comes across as confident, and I hate to use this word, but want of any other word, her body language certainly seems to be sending out a message to her party leaders and outside that I matter. I have a mind of my own, and I am the power center in place of Arvind Kejriwal. So the Atishi Malas and Sanjay Singhs and Raghav Chaddhas, and now in this case Swati Maliwal, should know her place. So Swati Maliwal has, as of now, played along very smartly. Nowhere is she attacking Arvind Kejriwal. Now the big names being attacked, but in a very convoluted, in a very clear and smart manner. I would not clear, but smart manner. She's trying to make the point that there are people around Kejriwal who have been attacking her, and I think
if
they could be.
The three of you especially have interviewed with a lot of political leaders, been around that system. Here's a question: the CM's personal secretary, which is what Bibhav Kumar is, who would he take directions from in a party system? I'm assuming from his boss, and maybe his wife. I don't see him taking directions from anyone else if he was to act in a certain way, or does it depend on the party?
No, I think it will be from Kejriwal. In Kejriwal's absence, very clearly Sunita Kejriwal, because everyone knows that when Arvind Kejriwal is going to go back to jail, it is Sunita Kejriwal who's going to call the shots. Now, what will be interesting to watch are two things. One, of course, is that when is it that Swati Maliwal is going to start attacking the party leaders? I don't think the time is too far away. And second, will Arvind Kejriwal finally resign? And will Sunita Kejriwal, for example, be the person who takes over, and then it makes it very official? Because then everything starts changing within the party. And no one is talking about any action against Swati Maliwal. But look at Atish's press conference. Look at the tweets of the AAP supporters and AAP leaders. Clearly, they're calling her a BJP stooge or a BJP agent. So that is a ground which is being prepared for her, for the kind of position she's going to have. And see, if they chuck her out from the party, then she can continue to become the Rajya Sabha leader. So the other conspiracy theory, which you and I were also discussing about, is that will Raghav Chaddha then step down and Singhvi comes in as a Rajya Sabha member and all of that. I'm going to see what the change is going to take place once Kejriwal really goes behind bars, and whether it's Sunita Kejriwal officially becomes the same.
Yeah. And I'm very pleased to welcome women's rights activist, Right Honorable Paglika,
God, who's this?
Behosh MP. We need a women's rights activist, and especially
But
someone who.
but you told us that you're getting a green sari and a pink lipstick. This is not pink.
I'm a daughter of Bengal, and this is the genocide that has been perpetrated by the
Oh my God.
BJP on the people of Bengal, where they don't even recognize a member of parliament from Bengal.
I think there are too many Bengalis on this show. Apart from Ajay and me, we are really outnumbered. Professor, your turn.
The mockery and ridicule of Bengal that is happening out here.
Okay. When it comes to, assault on women politicians, this is not new. It has happened before. Remember, Jayalalitha was assaulted twice. Once when the AIADMK split in the aftermath of MG Ramchandran's demise, and then later on set upon by the DMK MLAs. Mayawati was beaten up by the Samajwadi Party MLAs when the first coalition government of Mayawati and Mulayam that split. But this was supposed to be different. After all, AAP is the middle class revolt against corruption and what have you. This is not how the supposed middle class is supposed to behave against women. And that is what makes it so different. Look, number of things. First, if you look at the sequence, there is no doubt that she has been assaulted, because Sanjay Singh would not have come out with a particular interview. I think that was the time they probably thought, let us make a clean breast of it. This can be controlled. But later on, others must have come in. For example, if you look at Atishi's interview, I am reminded of the old style communist parties, the Vyshinskis coming up with their creeds, extremely repulsive in their language and their behavior. Now they're trying to muddy the waters. But the fact is, as the things and the sequence of events that Ajay mentioned makes it very difficult for the others to believe that assault has not taken place. Look, an assault has taken place. Unfortunately, the country is now so partisan in its behavior that those who support AAP will say, look, this is a BJP game. They will not even try to answer whether an assault took place or not. And as for the others, they will believe what they want to believe in. And that is the tragedy. What scares me, a lot of people on Twitter said they were amused that a lot of people who didn't take sides during the time when Brajesh Kumar was, charged with violence against women, whatever. Brajesh Kumar, the MP, the BJP MP. They said, we are amused that people are now certainly turning feminists. And I said, I think amusement is all around. That you who claimed to be outraged during those charges, you're suddenly silent now. As for Bibhav Kumar, I think he must have received directions. Whether those directions were specifically for assault, I don't know. I don't think so. But I think as the things progressed, he may have gone beyond his remit, and whatever happened, in a sense, was part planned. They certainly wanted to get her out of the office, but it was also accident. I think things got out of the way. After all, you cannot assault an MP and hope that this will just blow over. It can't. Her position makes certain things very, very difficult. And this is something I think AAP will find it very difficult to get out of.
And I just want to say we're over 1,600 people live with us right now. If you're enjoying this show, please go ahead and like it. And please share it with your friends who can tune in live as well or later on. But live would be fun because we're taking comments and questions from our panelists. And I'm handing over to the only feminist on this platform. And you know who that is.
Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging the progressive and developmental policies of the TMC. So I want to start off with Ms. Maliwal herself, who's now turned out to be a complete fascistic stooge. Her antecedents, I think we need to go back to them. She's on record, telling women to file false cases against men over divorce cases and things like that. There are videos of her. There's that video of her outside Ames, assaulting, I think, auto driver or something, where she claimed she was being assaulted and whatnot. This is a person who comes with a lot of drama and things like that. Okay. Now, the problem here is when you deal with precedents like this, you need to go back to Camus and L'Étranger, where the protagonist is essentially executed at the end for things which are almost irrelevant, that set precedent kind of thing. So, precedent is very difficult to contextualize in that sense. That doesn't mean she wasn't assaulted in this particular case. It's always a problem differentiating things. The second is we need to remember that Bibhav also has certain precedents. We have lots of common friends who have been assaulted by him, men and women. He has in the past, when women have gone and complained to him, he said, well, you're going to require Kejriwal later on. And I've known these stories for the last, 6-7 years. People have been telling me this over time, and I never knew who Bibhav was till his photos became famous 2-3 days back. We also, I mean, later on, I'll tell you how this is very different from the other women cases. Brijesh Kumar, for example, who we all believed initially till all the stories started falling apart. And, we believed the wrestlers till the stories started falling apart, and they asked for things like direct access to the Olympics without having to compete and whatnot. And his colleague can't be the president, his son can't be given a ticket, collective punishment for the entire family, and things like that, which really gave away a lot of the politics of that particular thing. Here, let's just focus on what happens at the attack itself, right? First, Sanjay Singh comes out and says, बहुत अभद्र व्यवहार हुआ था इस लेडी के साथ. Second, the Atishi then comes and completely contradicts this entire narrative, where she says that Swati Maliwal is a BJP stooge, etc., etc. Third is that there is selective leakage of mobile phone footage. Apparently, nobody in a party that is renowned for its sting operations and whatnot, nobody thought of turning on their mobile phones throughout the entire 30-40 minute drama, except for one 30-second clip that gets released. Okay. Fourth, selectively CCTV footage is leaked out, about a minute or 2 minutes worth, showing her being escorted out. None of it in any form or way proves if she's been assaulted or not assaulted. Then, in the court, the police says the CCTV camera has been erased. Why has it been erased? You've been clear enough to take certain parts of it and put it out there. You've been clear enough, you've had the presence of mind to record certain parts of this conversation, at least 30 seconds worth. And anybody who has a mobile phone knows there's no limit on recording. You can keep recording for hours if you have storage on your phone. So that certainly wasn't a problem. That's also been done. Then, Bibhav's phone has been reformatted on the 17th, that is to say, day before yesterday, where all the data, metadata, all of it in it was wiped completely clean. There was no need to reformat it, but it has been reformatted just so that data cannot be extracted from it. Now, as far as circumstantial evidence goes, if that doesn't scream guilt, I don't know what does.
Ajay, two things could be happening with that erased part. One, there is actually an assault that is taking place, motivations, there is actually an assault that has taken place and it's been caught on CCTV. The second is, of course, the presence of people in that room, which they don't want out. Now, it may not have been an assault even, it could have been a very nasty argument. Until now, they've been saying Kejriwal wasn't there, family wasn't there, wife wasn't there, it was just her. But could it be, so it's one of the two, right?
See, this is exact point which I raised in my show on the first day when this entire episode came about. See, we only have versions of the truth that we are led to believe. Swati Maliwal has not even mentioned once that there were more than one people apart from Bibhav available in the room, in the drawing room. we see the footage where there are three police staff, one female, two male staff, and we also see in the footage Bibhav Kumar. I have known Mr. Kejriwal and Bibhav for a very, very long time. Bibhav is not somebody who would do anything which would, in any case, harm or bring disrepute to Arvind Kejriwal. It
Okay.
is not a relationship which you will call as a boss and a secretary in the conventional sense of it. It is much more of a friend, two friends being together, where one accepts the supremacy of the other and protects the interest of the other. Loyalty of Vibhu cannot ever be questioned in one fact that he has been through thick and thin with Kejriwal family. So whatever little I know of the equations that have existed between this setup, this is what it is. As far as Vibhu's relationship with Sunita Kejriwal is concerned, he is very close to the family. He has been part of this entire gang, which was during the NGO group. Swati Maliwal, post her graduation, joined this group, was part of this entire group. So they all go back. They have had all kinds of times together. So to believe that, a dispute can go to an extent where Vibhu would end up beating up Maliwal
Yeah. Yeah.
is slightly not down the. You can't gulp it, but you can never know. Things can happen. Right.
Something obviously, if this did happen, something really triggered this sort of response. And I think what you're saying is you're right, because this group has been friends in the past, right? When they were
Yes.
together, they've been together from the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. And this core group has been one of friends. Of course, their fortunes have changed. Kejriwal has become chief minister. He's had all that protocol, but they've been buddies. So it does add another layer of complexity. Professor, go ahead.
Advaita, it is this kind of loyalty that sometimes leads to violence. When you are so loyal to somebody, and as Ajay said, that, I look up to him, very close to the family, and if I see some person who's actually acting against this family, or I perceive to be acting against this particular family, then sometimes anger may lead me to do certain things which are foolish. But these can happen. These are exactly the kind of persons who are emotionally too attached to somebody who end up doing certain things. But
Like
let
the
us
old
face it,
retainer. But
the
Professor,
old retainer, the old retainer.
the quick question here is then, would it be something professional or personal?
See, it could be a mix of both. It could be a mix of both. It certainly is a mix of both. But let's really come back to a point that Abhijit made.
Dipankar,
You
if I
know,
may just
so
Ajay, yes.
see, when you say that Vibhu could be driven, let us also put it on record that Swati Maliwal could equally be driven to take any step possible with respect to Arvind Kejriwal. And I'm specifically mentioning with respect to Arvind Kejriwal. Thereafter, the things spiral out. See, the equation that the two shared, please understand, giving a Rajya Sabha ticket to Swati Maliwal was not at all, inverted comma, normal. Within the Aam Aadmi Party structure also, Pallavi would bear me out on this on a much larger scale. Within the Aam Aadmi Party structure also, there were many other deserving candidates or people from outside who could have been given the Rajya Sabha ticket. But to give it to Swati Maliwal is a telling story about how a close confidant is given a position of elevation.
And that's what makes this strange, Joyita, because that has happened only very recently. So if you're a politician, you've just been nominated to the Rajya Sabha, you're in a very good space with the party leadership, from your end and from their end. Now, for something like this to suddenly happen, it doesn't look professional to me.
First of all, Advaita, we have been hearing things like, that Kejriwal has been unhappy with some people who have not come out in support of him. But then, of course, all of them are giving different reasons for that. I mean, Swati Maliwal, Raghav Chadda, apparently Harbhajan Singh. There are so many of these people that he has been unhappy about. But you see, whatever be the circumstances, and I agree at the same time that when you look at Swati Maliwal's own record, I mean, there are problems over there. You know, he has said certain things about her father, and then earlier she had not said those things about her father. So I would not say that Swati Maliwal has always been very convincing. But at the same time, the problem, if you are saying that everything, whatever she is saying, is a lie, what the whole question is that why is that footage blank?
Yes.
If everything was, nothing happened, then why did you feel the need to wipe out that footage? Don't tell me, I mean, suddenly it's coincidentally your CCTV cameras developed some kind of a fault and everything went blank. It does not happen like that. So what happened to that footage? So you see, and what is even worse, I mean, that is very bad. What is also equally bad is also, the way everyone is brazening it out. Okay, I mean, the thing is, at least even, I mean, all sorts of gossips is doing the rounds. Say, for example, that she also got a little violent, they also got violent, and there was some kind of, trouble over there, of course, perhaps some kind of a fisticuff, whatever. And what about the medical report that is coming? It is showing that she has been hurt. So what is, so that blank footage, that holds the key to the mystery. And the thing is that, and this is where our whole this narrative that they're trying to spin is so problematic. You have to explain. You see, this is not about and telling the people who are going to making it into the platform for politics. This is something that shows the character of your party. And the problem is that it shows that you don't have that at your core. You don't have character. Let's put it this way.
Joyita, they're a young party, only about 11, 12 years old, and they are, by that measure, have projected themselves as a progressive party. Remember, I mean, they were a cool party in the beginning. They had Bollywood celebrities, music directors, all kinds of people joining them. But subsequently, yes, Abhijit, I'm coming to you, is that they've had a lot of issues with women, right? I mean, remember, the earliest was the one worker who died by suicide. You remember, that was hushed up. Then subsequently, woman after woman, including those who were part of the founding team, have left. It's problematic for women. Gul Panag is one person who was very active, articulate. She left. She's been silent since. Go ahead, Abhijit. You wanted to come in.
Yeah, can I just mention a quick point? Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, you see, this is what exactly some of the women's rights activists are talking about, that there is a history of abuse. And even Shazia Ilmi, let us not say, whatever she has been saying in public about the way she was treated, let us not, ignore her by saying that, that is partisan. Okay, so there is definitely a problem somewhere.
And just to add, what Shazia is saying publicly today, she told all of us, about 5, 6 of us, almost 6, 7 years back. She didn't want to come out about it because she didn't want it to look like sour grapes and things like that. But remember, the culture of physical assault in this party runs very high. It was done to several people even during the India IAC thing. You'll still, if you run a Google search, you'll find several incidents of assaulting not just women, men also. Remember when Yogesh Yadav and Prashant Bhushan launched their little bhagwa against Arvind Kejriwal, they were physically taken and thrown out of the party meeting and things like that. They were roughed up. Let's not forget that. Are both of them capable? You come from a party that has this sort of people's power, mob, the mob is right kind of thing, Socrates style Athenian democracy of the agora. This is true democracy kind of attitude, which gave Socrates, hemlock to drink ultimately. And because it comes from a culture like that, I will completely accept both Swati Maliwal and Bibhav Kumar are capable of anything. The issue here like Joita said, was that only one side to this dispute has deleted data from phones, has deleted data from cameras, and has contradicted itself very severely from the first press conference to the second press conference,
Yeah.
where
Uh,
they
Ad-
themselves
One
admitted
second, I want to bring in Pallavi in, Professor. She hasn't
Abhadra,
spoken.
Abhadra something something hua.
Yeah. Pallavi, the India alliance is very quiet on this. They're not speaking out. And in fact, one went as far as to say this is their personal matter or something to that effect. But you're talking about people who are in the public eye, who are in the public domain. Swati Maliwal was somebody who was ostensibly fighting for women's rights. She had a position entrusted to her by the AAP to fight for women's rights. And here she is being allegedly thrashed in the CM's residence. So this is something that India Alliance needs to react to.
I mean, the Congress needs to react on that because Jairam Ramesh's statement today, I think what it didn't say actually said a lot. I mean, he went on to say that we believe in the rights of women and, there's an ongoing investigation, so we are going to wait for that. So there are a couple of points here. The AAP doesn't need the Congress so much in Delhi as the Congress needs AAP here for those 3 seats. So they're desperate for that support, and it is this political compulsion which is making them keep quiet. And this political compulsion is equally the reason why Congress is now being opened up to this entire allegation, which could have very deep impacts on how it conveniently remains silent on issues they would want the BJP to respond to. So what they're doing now is, I see them responding to me on social media. I'm sure they say they do the same with you. Indulging in whataboutery. You talk about this, then they talk about Revanna. You talk about this, then they talk about Manipur. So it's always about, kind of weighing which molestation or assault or allegation is bigger. So if you're going to ask me questions, then you have to answer questions about Manipur. That's one political compulsion which I think the Congress party is facing, which is why their leaders like a Radhika Khera, Priyanka Chaturvedi these days doesn't say much, but someone like a Radhika Khera, all of them are now coming out. They're saying, see, this is precisely the point we made when we quit the Congress. The silence of Priyanka Vadra, the silence of the top Congress leaders, including Rahul Gandhi, when I complained of being assaulted by my male party colleague. And therefore, I am not surprised. So this is just walking into a trap. I would not even say it's a trap, right? Walking into a narrative and which suits the BJP. And I think it's these political compulsions that they pointed out. I mean, they need the AAP in Delhi, which is why they prefer to remain silent, even if it comes at the cost of the image.
Yeah, Professor, please go
you
ahead.
know,
In the
as
meanwhile, folks, I'm highlighting some tweets in the chat that Abhijit has sent me in private chat that he wants highlighted. I cannot believe this man's vanity. Okay.
so this AAP actually is a paradox. It's a Stalinist party or a party with Stalinist characteristics in a democratic setup. The supremo Stalin is Arvind Kejriwal. He's gotten rid of all the old Bolsheviks, Prashant Bhushan, Yogendra Yadav, what have you, they've all been got off. And all the hounds that he used to shoot out other people or expel other people, he is now also targeting them. This is exactly what happened with Stalin's party. One intelligence chief would execute all the others, and one day he would be before the on the firing block. Swati Maliwal has acted as Kejriwal's hound in harassing other people. Today, she finds herself at the receiving end. Now, the question is there is poetic justice in this, but the fact is it is a crime. So, what you are seeing where AAP is concerned, it may have started as a middle class movement, but if you look at the quality of people who now dominate the AAP, then as well as now, these were never people who were democratic in their outlook. They've used the terms democracy, etc., but they were all fascist in their outlook. And that is a reflection of what AAP has become, both in Punjab as well as in Delhi.
Yeah.
Arey, Abhijit, I'm more beautiful than you.
Abhijit has sending. I wanted to share this because he's sending messages about
Yes.
his beauty to me and
He's
saying, "Can you
disgusting,
please
man.
highlight?"
Disgusting.
This is why he
I,
comes on the show.
I am just highlighting valid, observer comments, viewer comments. And, I just want to back up what Dipankar said. This is exactly the way, the People's Commissar for Internal Affairs and every other post under Stalin used to be run. People like Minjinsky, were essentially, bumped off. They were followed by people like Yagoda, who was literally tortured to death in a prison by his own successor, Nikolai
Yezhov.
Yezhov, who was another complete psycho who used to go around torturing and killing people. It was either Yezhov or Yagoda who were responsible for torturing to death and killing Marshal Tukhachevsky, who actually invented Blitzkrieg as we know it. The joint forces attack. Why? Because it was too revolutionary. Therefore, he must be a German agent, just like the way Atishi accuses Swati Maliwal. Anything party ke khilaf bol diya, you must be a German agent. And Yagoda himself was then very brutally executed by Lavrenti Beria, who was the last of the commissars, so to say.
It was
Right.
Atishi
humiliating.
looked uncomfortable. Atishi looked uncomfortable to me when she did that press con. Did anyone else pick up on that?
I
Or
don't feel she looked
Advaita, she is
uncomfortable.
not uncomfortable just now. Aditya,
Huh.
she has been uncomfortable for a while, especially if you look at it post about 1 week of Arvind Kejriwal's arrest. Thereafter, the discomfort between Saurabh and Atishi are visibly there on camera. So you can see that very often. And that obviously has happened because of the power equations within the Aam Aadmi Party. But I would just like to take what
quick question:
Pallavi.
who does Sunita Kejriwal favor of the two? Because she seems to be now the power behind the throne.
Difficult question. Let's not speculate. In any case, whatever you can speculate about Aam Aadmi Party doesn't ever fall true. They create their own narratives. So it's a
They create
completely.
their own dramas, I think, not
Oh, yeah.
narrative.
They are full of it. Full of it. No doubt about it. But see, the larger question which today faces the entire opposition, which is trying to box in the Bharatiya Janata Party, is that whenever there are uncomfortable questions which are raised to you, you find a way of whereaboutry, or you find a way of replying a question with another question. Look at the press conference held in Lucknow with Arvind Kejriwal, Sanjay, that guy, Sanjay Singh,
Akhilesh Yadav.
Akhilesh
Ajay
Yadav,
Sanyas.
right? Arvind Kejriwal sits there. The question is put up by the reporter to Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal just keeps mum, passes the mic to Akhilesh. Akhilesh draws out a paper and starts ranting off about BJP, and he just laughs because his sense of humor is fantastic, right?
Which
And
ones?
you know, Akhilesh,
Oh,
he has a good sense of humor. The guy
yeah, he
can come out
does.
with all kinds
In
of
fact, some
anecdotes.
of the banter between Yogi ji and Akhilesh Yadav in the assembly in UP is very, very funny.
So this guy has a real comic sense of humor at times. So you can really bank upon him to come out with the best. And he makes it very apparent that I'm sorry, this gentleman is unable to answer anything, he's in a spot. And then finally, Sanjay Singh takes it and thank you very much. And again, questions are replied by questions. Go and ask Modi ji about this, go and ask this thing about this, that thing about this.
Yeah,
Now,
Manipur, Revanna, Manipur,
yes.
economy.
And Ravenna also, by the way, the entire Ravenna episode, who's actually at fault? It is the state administration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
1 year you knew everything about it. You are keeping quiet. For the first phase, you kept quiet because that was where the Vakalega votes are. Second phase, you bring it up. See, it's very apparent that the entire opposition today, especially spearheaded by the Congress, believes that keep throwing muck, do not answer anything, and you have a Teflon coating, you have an ecosystem that will completely protect you from any attack that comes to you. The social media will come to your rescue, whatever it is, and the entire gang just gets active like more than a pack of hounds. I would say packs and packs of hounds together.
Yeah.
This is something which is very weird, which is happening with this
No,
election.
and no, but Ajay, it's also there's only one response to everything you want to ask them. You're Godi media, so we won't answer you. So it's okay when you do a soft interview and you ask the right questions according to them. Then you're not considered Godi. If the opposition parties choose friendly journalists to do the interview, then it's okay. But it is not okay when the BJP also does it. And I know this for a fact that even when you you're asking questions of, say, the Gandhis, and you do an interview, they don't ask you for a prepared sheet, but they definitely, the advisors ask you what kind of questions will you ask, which is very normal. There's nothing wrong in that. But in the case of the PM, it becomes a big issue. In their case, it is, no, so what? If the PM, so everything the response is, if the PM can do it, then we can also do it. So how are you different? I mean, I was listening to the Rahul Gandhi rally yesterday, day before, the way he was shouting at the media and Godi, it is not nice. It is really not nice. It is like, I keep saying this, I find it so scary now to attend their press conferences, because pata nahi kaun sa personal comment kahan aayega, and then there are people who are going to be cackling, thinking, oh, dekho, we made her look stupid, and look, she's called
In the
Godi.
past 4 phases of election, I have thrown Congress spokesperson 10 times out of my shows. 10 times.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
I've just thrown them out.
And that was my question. Three of you, I mean, of course, a vast journalistic experience. Have you seen an individual politician be so antagonistic towards the media? I mean, they used to say Modi is very anti-media, this, that, but I mean, the guy who's showing it is really, I mean, Rahul Gandhi, the way he goes after even stringers. Forget, proper reporters.
So my
who are-
simple question to all
See,
spokespersons.
I think the PM chooses the people he wants to speak to, and there's nothing wrong in that. Every Neta does that. I mean, I'm sure Priyanka Gandhi Vadra will choose who she wants to give the interview to, right? And similarly, Rahul Gandhi would. So why is it okay when the Gandhis do it or the Congress does it? And why is it not okay if the BJP does it? I mean, why just the Congress? I mean, TMC and all of them, they do look for journalists who can give interviews to whom they are comfortable with, right? So if you're comfortable with them, tomorrow's case, it's okay. You ask for questions beforehand, it's okay. You tell them ki camera, I know this now, because I know I've taken interviews of many Congress leaders, opposition leaders, who tell me, actually look at my frame after the interview is over. Am I looking good? Did this sound right? Let's cut it and do it again. It is normal. I mean, this is something as a journalist I'm used to, and at times I agree to change it, unless it's a big news point which I'll have to compromise. If they don't want to talk about that. But if the BJP leader does it, or if the PM does it, then, they make a big deal about it. In fact, I'm sure if they're listening to my conversation now, they'll call me Godi. And I'm sure they're going to start calling all of us Godi on this. But there are double standards. It's not tweet kiya ki Ravana is also absconding, and then this Bibhav Kumar is also absconding. Why don't people just turn up? My God, I have been called names. Someone called me a slut. You are a dabba on womanhood. Because of you, women are attacked and raped. And pata nahi kya aisa ho gaya. And it was one particular ecosystem which is out and goes on and on and on.
Pallavi, it is so weird. The moment you cross question, I mean, it's a general refrain of all Congress spokesperson to come on television and say the constitution is being ripped apart. There is no democracy left in the country. And I say, please give me one example of what constitutional changes the Bharatiya Janata Party has done in the past 10 years. They've made only 9 amendments to the constitution compared to 120 amendments made by the Congress party in the past 50 years. I am called, not just that, I'm said, aapko kuch pata nahi hai, you are not required, you are sitting, you have friendships with Prime Minister Modi. I said, okay, fine. Aap mera sawal ka jawab de do. And then ultimately I have to tell them, thank you very much. I can't take your abuses. I've worked for more than 35 years. I don't need your acceptance to make me a journalist. So get out of my show. And
I quite like what Abhijit wrote that day, on the influencers. He's absolutely bang on. Congress tends to believe now, as the opposition parties, most of them, that the influencers can actually swing the results.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just 2% of the people, right, Abhijit, who are on Twitter and who are social media?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
absurd. Joyita, please come in.
Yeah, you see, when we are talking about this kind of heckling and hectoring tone that Rahul Gandhi often takes towards the media, it can also actually put reporters in danger. It happened, as you must be knowing, what it happened in Raebareli some time back. It happened to one of our network reporters, where he shouted, "Jaat kya hai tumhara malik ka jaat kya hai?" And you must be. And it happened on TV, on live TV, and the people surrounding him started beating up the reporter. he was assaulted. So you see, when you are basically, and apart from that, you see, this is again anecdotal evidence what I'm going to talk about. Sometimes I'm told, you see, it is better not to go with a media sticker when you're going to certain, your car should not have a media sticker, because suddenly, if you're going into certain areas which are supposed to be opposition strongholds, you may be attacked by saying that you are Godi media. So you see, the whole point is, once you are inciting this kind of a narrative against a section of the media which you think, and Rahul Gandhi keeps doing it in his press conferences. Oh, you must be a BJP person. You are asking, look at him, he is a BJP guy, BJP guy. And once that message starts trickling down to the ground, once it percolates to the ground to your followers, you never know how they are going to behave. And that
Oh,
is
I've seen, yeah.
actually dangerous.
I've seen this. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I've seen it as a viewer, of course, on TV, where I've seen journalists from certain media houses, which the Congress is really anti, be in certain areas, in locations, and actually have a very aggressive crowd. And you can see it, on TV. You can see it visually, the body language, the kind of cues, and some of them have been girls, young girls, in their 20s, on the beat. And I'm just like, oh my god, I hope she's reading the room, because this is not looking very good for her. And you're absolutely right, Abhijit. Yeah.
So, this is now getting to be, Rahul believes this. You understand? He's surrounded with himself with people who are reinforcing this phantasmagoria. And all it is phantasmagoria. Right? Now, the disconnect with reality is just so great. You think people don't see this? You think people don't react to it? And you're depending on social media clips and WhatsApp groups. WhatsApp groups actually amplify these social media clips more. But the problem with WhatsApp groups again is that they don't change anybody's mind. You see, nobody's ever in my existence watched a WhatsApp video and had a Saul who was known as Paul, who was known as Saul, road to Ephesus moment, where he sees his name is Saul, he's on his road to Ephesus, and he sees an apparition of Jesus Christ, and he changes his name to Paul and becomes a Christian, and he stops persecuting Christians. I have never seen this happen in my life. Certainly not from a WhatsApp video or a Dhruv Rathi video. But they actually believe that this is happening. Minds change because of delivery on the ground. Minds change because you're constantly in touch with cadre. People come out and vote because of cadre. You see all these campaigns. The campaigns, the actual physical rallying, doesn't change anybody's mind. What it's meant to do is it's a gauge of how much your local mohalla, how many people they can put together. Because if they can bring people together for a rally, they can also bring them out to vote on
Oh,
voting day.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
almost a sort of mock run of how many
Hmm.
people are coming out to vote for you in that sense. And that is why, it's not the big rallies that count, it's actually the small mohalla rallies that happen, that count, that actually show you, because it's very easy for anybody, even, lower middle class poor people such as myself, to just go out, take a break from the back-breaking menial labor that we do, and go out and visit a
No,
rally for
I am no. You're not getting any freebies from the government. You can stop
15,
now.
20, 15,
No,
20
no, you're
minutes.
not getting any freebies. No.
No. I believe jitni abadi utna hak, jitna size utna hak. Because I'm the fattest of the lot, I should get more than.
And you're also the most beautiful of the lot,
And I'm
according to
also the most
some.
beautiful.
The
Jitni
only scheme that applies to you is Prime Minister Modi's Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. I think you need to go back to
Huh,
school.
so that also, I think they should fund at least 3 PhDs for me in London. So
Yeah,
so
I mean,
absolutely,
that scheme really goes for you. It has
yeah,
to. I mean,
totally,
it's
totally.
That's
going
the.
to
I mean,
benefit you
PM was
immensely.
like thinking of you when
I'm
he,
just thinking,
made
I
that
was just
happen.
thinking that suppose by mistake it so happens, suppose a PM gives me an interview, तो कांग्रेस वाले तो मुझे उसके ऑफिस में घुसने ही नहीं देंगे. They'll say now she's a certified Godi.
Yeah.
It's so sad,
Oh,
yeah.
Pallavi, here it is. I've suffered it already.
Yeah,
You have?
tell us.
See, uh, it's just about 5 years ago, 2019. After my interaction with the Prime Minister, I was scheduled to interview Rahul Gandhi. My interview got cancelled about 10 times before I was finally given this slot in Punjab. And the entire fervor was that you will now be too impressed because you got an interview with the Prime Minister. And I had to put it on record that please, and I proved it with digital evidence, that I've been with him on interviews since 1998. So there is nothing to be enamored about.
Yeah.
So, the
I have a
thinking
quick question. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Quick question. One of our viewers is asking Abhijit about the Iranian president's helicopter crash. Is that something that's happened? I don't know. I'm not aware.
It's
but
missing.
It's
Azerbaijan में it's fallen and it's missing.
Who's on the chopper? Yeah, this is like breaking at least.
Of the 3 choppers that was carrying the entourage, one has had a hard landing. We don't know which one.
Oh, yeah.
The presidential chopper, according to Iranian news, has made a hard landing, but they are not able to find. I'm just quoting them. They're saying that they have zero contact with all the choppers. So that's what they're looking for.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn.
That's big.
This adds to the complexities of the Middle East. I hope the markets is still stable tomorrow.
Yeah.
In any case, all the power is with the rebel. यार president के पास कोई power ही नहीं है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter, but in terms of optics, no?
Yeah, one thing, you see, as Rahul grows increasingly desperate, 10 years have elapsed, and as he sees no chance of power, if you look at his program, not just his behavior with journalists, that is getting more and more desperate. It's basically, I'm willing to bring this building down to come to power. So the kind of promises he makes, if he were to fulfill those promises, the nation would go bankrupt. That's bad economics, but he keeps on doing it. And what is sad is responsible economists who would never recommend the same for other countries, all of them say it's such a fantastic idea. Be it Kaushik Basu, be it Raghuram Rajan. And that is the kind of desperation and viciousness that you see with his behavior with journalists also. So this is part of the desperation which is leading to this disconnectedness with reality and hence this behavior.
But can I just add a quick rider over here? Not everyone in the Congress party is like this.
I know.
It's just a handful of those who want to please Rahul Gandhi. But the real old style grassroots level netas of the Congress party, they are really so nice at a personal level.
Exactly.
They'll talk to you.
Absolutely.
I always use this word for old school Congressies. They are very Vyavharik. They're
you
very
don't see the Congress chief ministers. You don't see the Congress chief ministers.
It's not just the
grassroots.
Even the Congress leaders, they are the most polite, helpful, very kind people you will meet. There's a certain graciousness that comes with generations of breeding and money. Okay, so this culture that you're seeing suddenly emerge in the Congress, this isn't what the Congress used to be. There's this sort of meanness of spirit and nastiness that's come in that is getting reinforced by these jhola chap types who have made it to the top all of a sudden, because Rahul doesn't want to listen to a message which says do not confront. The opposition vote will automatically come to us. All we need to do is sit it out and minimize our negatives. This is not something Rahul is willing to accept.
And I'm increasingly facing this when I often go to areas to report out of Delhi. I saw it in Amethi, I saw it in Raebareli. The party workers are so rude. I mean, at one area, I remember, aap godi ho, aap to bike hue ho, and then they get very personal in their attacks on you. They are very emboldened. And then there's a whole group of 4-5 of them around them. They start cackling. And, if I even want to go and complain, and this happens officially at the Congress office in these local areas, if suppose I come back to Delhi and I complain, then there will be a group of Congress leaders, you deserve it. Because you're like this. I mean...
but this has happened with all of them, right? Radhika Khera, Priyanka Chaturvedi, the lady in Assam, I can't recall her name, forgive me right now. But multiple
it happened
cases,
with us. I remember when
I say within the fold also.
But Advaita, as a journalist and as a reporter, when I've gone to
Joyita and then Ajoy.
Yeah.
but
No,
they
Advaita,
kind
will
of
it
kept
be?
on calling me. I was on air, and they're saying, "Piche se ye to godi hai, ye to biki hui hai, ye paise mein bik gayi." This is the way they were talking. Like when I was on air, so those audios were coming. And when I told them, "Bhaiya, please, yaar, ऐसे क्यों बोल रहे हो? नहीं, आप deserve करते हो. राहुल भैया सही कहते हैं." So they get emboldened.
Advaita, will it be wrong to say that the Congress of Rahul Gandhi's Congress is starting to resemble more and more like AAP? Because you see, when it comes to AAP, if you are looking at AAP, it is basically, I don't see AAP as having any coming out of any ideological movement.
Absolutely.
AAP is basically a handful of people coming together where the end is power and the means justifies the end in their case.
Absolutely.
As a result of which, when you are looking at whatever is happening with the AAP, anything goes. Lying is fine, covering up crimes is fine. And remember what Kejriwal had said at one point of time, that you are looking at, politics तो हम उनको सिखा देंगे कि politics कैसे करते हैं. So ultimately, the binding factor is that you have to be in power. At that time, they seriously thought that Arvind Kejriwal will be Prime Minister. It is the same up when it is treating the media. You write one sentence against them, they will throw you out of their media groups. They will try to impose their views on seniors and all, saying, "Oh, you're somebody that we know or they covered it like this." So that animosity that is there, that is also, frankly, but that comes from a party which does not understand the political culture of the country, the political culture of the parties, how politics is, they don't understand. The problem is that Rahul Gandhi is also increasingly becoming like this, perhaps because he has surrounded himself with people who are more like, Arvind Kejriwal and company. That is how I view it.
Joyita, I completely second your view because this is exactly what I was about to put across. See, look at the similarities between the progression of Aam Aadmi Party over the past 12 to 13 years in Delhi and the surrounding areas. How Aam Aadmi Party has virtually captured the entire vote bank and imagination of the Congress Party, replaced it in first Delhi, then Gujarat, Goa, Punjab. Haryana to a smaller extent. 5 states, Aam Aadmi Party has actually made space, taken the Congress space, made it its own. And in the same vein, what is the kind of political ideology or the kind of process that Aam Aadmi Party has actually followed? They first believe that everything can be called into an anarchism. There are no laws which bind them. It is us versus them. Either you're with us or you're absolutely against us. This is Aam Aadmi politics from day one, since the time they formed the party. This is a simple analogy of, if you look at a typical, I may be absolutely trolled for this, but a very narrow minded, parochial, NGO kind of a movement that comes across. You do not believe in the fact that what we are saying, then you are absolutely against us. There's no parallel view in a particular setup. There are very defined focused group, these NGOs which work through. And they're like, if you are, I went to once cover in Tamil Nadu anti-nuclear power plant agitation. The moment you talk about nuclear energy, they will pounce on you. Because the whole ecosystem, they are so trained that I'm only willing to listen to this. Beyond this is not my purview. And if you're talking beyond this, you are not with us. You're either with us or you're against us. Typical, the college street level politics that used to happen during our days when the left was very predominant in the colleges. That is what. Yeah, I just want to round it off. So that is what Aam Aadmi Party believed in. Subsequently, it was obviously when you believe in a one-man dominance, which was Arvind Kejriwal, everybody who was associated could be a power center, was thrown out. Look at the Congress Party. You cannot have anybody but Rahul Gandhi at the helm of the affairs. He is the one who will control everything.
Not even a sister.
Absolutely.
Hmm,
And
yes.
just like Aam Aadmi Party, Rahul Gandhi will take no responsibility. Arvind Kejriwal has no responsibility. He is a humble servant. He is the son of every mother of this country. But he has no responsibilities. He can make announcements, he can go back to it. He can make allegations, he will go back to it. Worst case scenario, I'll go to the court, I'll say, I'm sorry, I made these false allegations.
Yeah.
Where is the accountability? Where is so it is the similar pattern which is being followed extensively by Congress. So Congress virtually has now become a mirror image of Aam Aadmi Party to a great extent. What Pallavi is still dealing with are people who she has known for years.
Hmm.
The new generation of Congress beat reporters are equally aggressive or are equally brainwashed, as we call it, than the kind of environment that you would have had with a person who's like Pallavi.
Yeah,
So,
one of them is
To the
joined as a
extent,
media
to the
coordinator
extent,
or something also, right?
to the
One
extent,
beat reporter. Yeah.
unless you go around being as vitriolic as the Congress IT cell, you will not even be given access to people within the Congress anymore. And the problem is, I would go a step further from what Ajay said. This isn't even anarchism, it is full on nihilism. Everything is reduced to zero. Everything is the war of everyone against everyone else. Absolute total war at all times, perpetual social churn. And the whole problem here is because AAP has been rewarded in Delhi, repeatedly rewarded in Delhi, and now rewarded overwhelmingly in Punjab. The Congress sees this, and Rahul sees this specifically as a path to revive the fortunes of the party. That a party which did not have that much of a cadre was able to get votes based on a temporary issue which suddenly clicked, called the India Against Corruption movement, and could then just translate its entire bile and nihilism into an election platform. The problem with nihilism is, what good are you promising? Nothing. And Rahul is taking that nihilism to the next level. When you're talking about the kind of wealth distribution he is, he doesn't care about the impact on the finances of the country or the social fabric of the country. They started off with what, 72,000 rupees per year or something like that.
yes.
1
Then
lakh
it
per
became
month.
1 lakh a month. भाई कहाँ से आएगा? Have you added 1 lakh a month for the population of this country? It's like what? It's almost half your GDP every year you're going to
But
spend on doles.
Pagalika,
पैसा कहाँ से आएगा?
Just to extend your name, it is Pagalika announcements too. I can say anything and walk away with it.
Yeah,
I
No,
know
but
I'm not coming to
again,
power.
yeah,
okay. But
exactly.
the other thing is
So,
also
please, I mean, if
what?
you go through the manifesto, sorry, Professor Saab, just 1 minute.
No,
If you go through the Congress Party manifesto and read through it, it is a piece of absolute comedy.
It is.
I couldn't help my breath, and I used to believe that Mr. Chidambaram, who is a fantastic lawyer, is a man of sense. After the manifesto, I am willing to put my leg on it. He's a man of nonsense. Under his stewardship, if a manifesto of such kinds are produced and put out as a public document, how can you talk about we will not let majoritarianism be a part of this country? Who are you trying to target? Look at the nuggets that you, each and every page is full of such nuggets of insight into the thought and the mind process that is working. It makes you believe that this is a manifesto which has been created for something like 3027.
Yeah, I
one
want to
thing,
just say we have over 3,100 people live with us, which is great.
you
Please
know,
do like the show, okay, because that'll help
And
the algorithm to.
Abhijit will claim it
one,
because of his beauty.
yeah, just one, what
See, I
AAP
think
has
it's
done,
entirely because, sorry, Professor. I just want to say that all our viewers have come because of the progressive and development policies of the TMC and the government of Bengal. Because, we reach out, we engage with the oppressed and the alienated. And I think it is a vote of confidence in the leadership of Mamta Banerjee that our audience has grown to 3,100 viewers.
Your
But I
hairstyle
don't
looks
like the-
almost like mine, Abhijit.
You know,
That you also look like America.
But you should have worn a better blouse, Pagalika.
Yeah, I agree. I'm working on my wardrobe right now.
okay.
But your
He's
lipstick is
poor,
the same
remember?
red. Where's the pink
Just,
one?
And Advaita, just one point. How AAP has cynically used the resources of Delhi, particularly the media advertising budget, 500 to 600 crores, to buy off the entire media is, I think, amazing. So they have this entire system working for them. They can do whatever they want to do, and the system keeps quiet. They have the lawyers in their hands. Otherwise, for Arvind Kejriwal to get bail, and Pallavi Hemant Soren did not get bail. I knew he would not get bail. He did not get bail. Although he said, if Kejriwal has got bail, I should get bail too. It shows how cynically and how beautifully they have basically ingratiated themselves, embedded themselves into the entire system. So it's not anarchism. It's basically nihilism, but with a end in mind. Madness, nihilism with a method in mind. They want power. What they do with power, they possibly don't know. It is power in the end, and they have perfected this art.
And I think on that note, we've gone over time. So thank you, slaves, for giving me more than 60 minutes.
And please, Abhijit, order a better shade from Blinkit. This is horrible red. I don't even know.
I know.
what it
Oh,
is.
by the way, guys, Abhijit orders all his makeup from Blinkit. I've never, Jessica, I mean, I've never heard of a woman doing that. I mean, that's a fail. I mean, no one orders makeup from Blinkit. I'm sorry.
No,
You
but
order
And
why
we've
don't
stolen this
Is that lipstick or is it pan? Lipstick or pan?
Pallavi, he's a fit candidate for a proper advertisement by Mac. We should try and push this,
I think so.
right?
Because
Listen, Advaita, maybe you should get Mac as your sponsor.
Listen, yeah, now I'm going to start a series on GoDaddy because instead of getting a sponsor, I've had money taken away from me. So I'm going to do a 1-minute ad on GoDaddy every.
But that GoDaddy thing is so terrible, yeah. Such
It is
goons they are, yeah. Cheats.
No, I think what we're going to do is we'll do a 1-minute GoDaddy disadvertisement where we dissuade people from booking on their site.
yeah.
Never ever. I'm never going to touch that site.
Really, really. I mean, God, 3 lakhs is not petty change. But anyway.
And still haven't got that money back.
No, yeah, I don't think I'm going to. I think I'll have to go to court.
Yeah, you should.
No, you must sue them. You must sue them.
Listen, after they told me you'll get the money back, and I have, this is smart, I have the recording of that phone call.
Oh, lovely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Don't
Then you
delete
sue
it.
them. Then do you have a
Don't
fit
format
case
your
to win the
phone.
case?
Correct.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll do the 1-minute GoDaddy ads, the bad ad, and every episode. Chalo ji. Okay, Pagalika, do you want to sign us off from the show and ask people to like, share, subscribe? What I can do is put you full screen for your very passionate appeal.
Yeah, we want to see his lipstick. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's pan, yeah. Lipstick na
Thank
pan
you.
hoga.
I just want to say that, all of you should like, share, and subscribe if you believe in the developmental and progressive policies of Bengal and are out to the minorities. Help the minorities. Help with the genocide. And please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Can you also cuss out GoDaddy, please, while you're at it?
Oh, yes. And GoDaddy, you suck. Aman Bhutani, you suck. You're a fraud. I never thought you'd be, I think going off to America, I thought you would have grown up the social ladder a bit. But I'm sorry, you're a low-level sasta fraud of the streets who's put water into pani puri.
Thank you. And he's also on the board of the New York Times. Why am I not surprised?
Why am I not surprised?
But anyway, on that note, thank you everybody for watching. And
Abhijit, that's nice hair you've got though.
See you. Oh,
Shining.
God.
No, we could have actually spent a couple of minutes describing Pagalika, but it's okay. Yeah.
Oh my God.